Matters, touching lives one person at a time.
Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of Family Matters. My name is Joy Starkey and I'm your host. So today's topic, we'll be discussing Christian marriage. I thought it was a hot topic because, as you know, a lot of folks are getting married and a lot of folks are getting divorced. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to discuss the values that are so key and so important in Christian marriage. And when you think about the word of the Lord, what he says about Christian marriage and the order that he designed for it, it really gives us the roadmap on how to do this successfully. So looking at Ephesians chapter 5, verse 23 and verse 25, verse 23 says, "Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church." And verse 25 says, "Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it." So when we discuss marriage and we talk about submission, which is not always a good word, and respect, which oftentimes get left out of marriages, it's important that we understand our roles. So the first ingredient to a successful marriage, communication. Communication is essential for marriage. And we know that communication is not just talking, it's not just speaking, but it's also listening. It's so effective that when you don't communicate effectively and when we constantly argue and we talk and we try to get our point across, oftentimes our spouses, they don't get a chance to communicate how they feel and what's going on with them. So communication is key. But there are three additional ingredients that are just as poignant, just as valuable as communication. The first one is love. Love is important. So that's why the Bible told men, husbands, to love their wives. Because men, it's easy to respect because men are creatures of respect. They operate with respect. But sometimes the love thing, it kind of gets lost. You know, most men aren't too touchy-feely. Sometimes they don't like to discuss their emotions. They're not emotional creatures like women are. So the Lord told men to love their wives because he knew that as women, we need to feel loved in order to understand that we're loved. We take on love in different ways, whether it be a kind word, a kind gesture, a thoughtful card or some flowers, or just a compliment. Different ways for different people is a great way to express love, for men to express love to their wives. Another point, the second point, is respect. Now, God told the woman to submit to her husbands, but also to respect him. See, it's easy for us to love as women. We're creatures of love. We learn how to love from when we're little girls. And so sometimes respect gets lost. Oftentimes it gets lost. But when we learn how to submit to our husbands and respect them, there's so much power in that. And there's so much love that's communicated to that man, to that husband, when we submit to him, when we love him, when we respect his position, and we respect the authority that he has as our husbands, as being the priest of our home. That allows the order in the home to remain. The third point is unity. Unity is the glue that binds the fabric of marriage together. How can two walk together unless they be agreed? The power of agreement. See, this is why the enemy often, Satan himself, will use different people. He'll use circumstances. He'll use trivial disagreements, things that aren't even important, to bring disunity into a home, to bring confusion, arguments, disagreements. And what happens is Satan brings a great divide. He divides the home. He divides the marriage. And where there is a lack of agreement, the enemy can come in and just do whatever it is he wants to do. But when we walk in one accord, and when we are equally yoked, and when we love each other, when we respect each other, then We can have a godly Christian marriage, and we operate in order. And when we're operating in order, it makes it very hard for the enemy, for Satan, and for outside resources, outside individuals to come in and infiltrate our unit, infiltrate your unit. See, I can speak on this because I'm qualified, because my marriage wasn't always in order. It was actually very disorderly. I didn't respect my husband. I felt my husband didn't love me. And so although we were married, we really acted as roommates for a long time. But when the power of God came into our home, and it took some ups and downs. I'm not saying that this is going to be a fly-by-night solution, that this will just come tomorrow. It takes some work. Marriage is hard work, and it's not for the faint at heart. But if you're up for it, if you're willing to roll up your sleeves and get your own self out of the way and learn what your role is and how to love your spouse the way they need to be loved, I promise you, friends, order will come back into your home. Love and desire will come back into your marriage. Don't give up yet. Don't quit yet, because the battle is almost won. I hope these tips were helpful to you. I hope that something was said that will encourage you to not lose hope, because the fight isn't yours. The battle belongs to the Lord if you allow him to fight it. So again, 4 ingredients, 3 being the main ingredients, but 4 ingredients for a Christian marriage. The first one, effective communication, speaking and listening. The second is love. Women, we got to love our husbands, because if we don't love them, if we don't respect them, someone else is waiting to do it. So love. The third one is respect. And the last one is unity. I hope that you keep these tips near to your heart and put them to use. And let's see what happens. The best is yet to come. Thanks for tuning in.